Hi, so today we're going to be making a basic bodice pattern and let's just jump right into it. So starting off, we're going to be drawing our starting line or shoulder line. I just took half an inch away from the beginning of the pattern paper and just drawing a straight line. And after that, we're going to just pin it down just, so it doesn't move out of frame or just move around. That's just quite distracting for me. So I like to pin my papers down and then I start with the neck measurements. I'm going in by 3 inches and that's for the width and 3 inches for the length. So basically 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the length. And I'm just going to draw a straight line. I like to make sure my measurements are very accurate, so you may see me going in and reconfirming, but that's just me. My hands are not straight, so I like to do this process. So again, we've gotten our square for the neck, and then we're going to draw our shoulder measurement, which my shoulder is 14 divided by 2, which is 7, and then you go down by 1 inch, and you just basically draw your straight line, and that is your shoulder measurement. So we are going to be taking our bust point measurement. My bust point is 10 inches. So I'm just going from the starting line and just marking 10 inches. And oh, sorry about my hair. You're going to see it like a few more times, but And then I'm going to be taking my waist length, my shoulder to waist length, which is 16 inches, and I'm just taking it down, and then my full top measurement, which is about 23 inches, and I just took the measurement. So this particular pattern, I want to make an asymmetric top, and there's kind of like an extension down there, so just ignore the particular last measurement I took. But I hope I'll get to post it later on. Anyway, I'm making the lines visible. I do hope you can see this though, but I didn't have a marker and I eventually did buy and use for the back pattern, but just manage with me please. And so okay, so let's go ahead to take our chest line measurement. My chest line is about 7.5 inches, and I'm just going to draw a straight line. This is the line that we used to create our armhole line. So I had to confirm that it's the same measurement from my shoulder. So that's 7 inches there, and I'm just going to straighten it down. I hope this doesn't confuse you, but this is just like a square to another square. So I'm just going to measure that. Okay, before I continue with that, I want to just draw in the neck curve, just, I think I forgot about it a little bit earlier, so I'm just drawing that in. Then I go back to my chest line measurement and I divide that by 2 and going by half an inch. This mark the shoulder line, the half an inch, and this mark line that I just created. Now I'll use to draw the arm curve. Now that line is my bust measurement divided by 4, which is 9 inches, and that particular line, the half an inch we went in the middle, and the starting shoulder line, we're going to use that to draw our armhole measurement. I hope that doesn't confuse you because it's quite simple if you just follow exactly what I'm doing in the picture in the video, and you don't need to be confused. Anyway, so now I'm going to make my dart line, which is your nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is 3.5. That is nipple to nipple is 7 divided by 2, you get 3.5. And now I'm just labeling the lines, and I'm going to draw my straight line for the dart. So I'm just going to draw it down. Now that that line has been drawn, we're going to draw a dot line. You go in by half an inch on both sides. Then on the final line, you're going to go up by 2 inches, and on the bust line, you're going to come down by 1 inch. For the bust line, you're doing that just so it doesn't look weird and the dot doesn't touch the bust point. And so you're going to draw your dot line, and it's going to look very nice when you're done. So now it's time to take our round measurement, and remember all our round measurement has to be divided by 4 because this is just 1/4 of the pattern. And so for my waist measurement is 28 divided by 4, that's 7. So we're going to add the dot back into the measurement, so that's going to be 8. And for the final measurements, it's going to be my hip measurement divided by 4. That's about 10. And for my bust point, we've measured my bust point initially, so we're just going to straighten roll it down. Normally, I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm not the most curvy person out there, so it's better for you to use the straightest part of this curved ruler. If you go and exaggerate it, it's going to look very weird. I used to do that when I first started learning how to sew because I was thinking I was a figure eight, but yeah, it never came out right. Okay, now we're going to put the side dart. On the bust point line, you come down by 1 inch, and on the dart line at the bust point, you come down by 1 inch. You come in by 1 inch rather, then you draw a straight line. So you also divide that half an inch and you draw your straight line just like I've done there. And I'm just going to put my allowance. I prefer to actually mark my allowance on the pattern paper before I actually put it on the fabric. That way I don't have to stress myself too much. So this is what I'm just going to do. Adding my actual allowance makes life literally very easy, and I don't have to stress myself too much. And that's just basically what I'm doing here. And so basically we are actually done with the front pattern, and also just showing you that I'm going to add the half an inch to the other side, just round the armhole and the neck curve and the shoulder, just half an inch. Now I'm just going to use the marker I bought later on just to make the lines a lot visible, and this is not really necessary at this point because I feel like everything has already been done. Now that the front measurement has been done and everything has been taken, we're going to go with the back. So just like the front, we're going to start off by taking the starting line or the shoulder line half an inch, just like the front. Okay, so for this particular outfit, we're going to have a zipper, and this is the measurement I am taking right now. I some people actually do take half 1.5 inch, some people take 1 inch, some people take half an inch. I actually like mine to be 1.5, and just a personal preference, but 1 inch can work also, and half an inch can work for people who prefer it that way. So remember, we're going to start taking our measurement from the zipper line now, not from the beginning of the line. So just like the front, we're going to take 3 inches in, but instead of that's for the width measurement. Instead of for the length measurement, instead of the 3 inches that we took at the front, we're going to just take 1 inch. Now, for people who are bigger on the plus size, you can go 1.5, you can go 2 inch. It just depends on you, but I'm going to take 1 inch down, and we're just going to mark draw the curve and be done with the neck part. Okay, now that that's been done, we're going to take our shoulder measurement again, 7 inches. Remember, from the zipper part, don't make that mistake of going at the beginning of the pattern paper. So I'm drawing my straight line, and just like I did at the front, you go 1 inch down and draw your straight line. And I'm just going to pin that there. I think I forgot to pin it, and it was moving already. It was already annoying me. So let's just go and take our normal measurement. So just like the front, we're taking our bust point measurement, that's 10 inches, and I'm just going to that's my book I'm using to do my calculations, and I'm just going to roll that down now just to get that out of the way. So for the back measurement, the shoulder to waist measurement, now I'm showing the calculations for this, but I usually just take 1 inch away from the front measurement. So instead of 16 inches, I go by 15 inches and I draw my straight line. And I'm going to just use this to measure the remaining lines, and that's 7 inches, and I'm just going to take 7 inches on both sides. Again, you don't need to draw the final line because, okay, I just cut that out. Anyway, so I'm just going to draw the lines with marker so you can see them more clearly. And these are my circumference, the round, should I say round lines. And then we're going to take our chest measurement. So my chest measurement, like I took in front, was 7.5. So that's exactly what I'm going to put there. I'm just going to put the calculations together, 7.5. I think I did not put it in the beginning, but I'm just going to put it at the beginning. I'll go back and read it and put it at the beginning. And I'm just going to draw the straight line, 7 inch for the shoulder line to make sure it matches the shoulder line. So that's what I'm doing here, just so it matches the shoulder line. And I'm going to draw my straight line down, and just like the front, we are going to, okay, I'm just redrawing it again with a clearer pen. Just like the front, we are going to take the half length of this, so we divide this by 2 and take half an inch in, and we're going to go with the circumference, your bust circumference, and mine is 9 inches, and I'm going to put that. And with those three lines or 3 points, you're going to draw your armhole measurement just the same way you did at the front. Okay. So I'm not a very interesting person, so I don't know what to say at this point where I have to stop. But anyway, um, I I'm just going to take my dart measurement, and that's 3.5. And just again, just like the front, you're going to take your 3.5 and you're going to draw a straight line. Now, this particular back measurement, our dart measurement is going to start from the chest line and all the way down. At the front, we started at the bust point, but this one is going to go up to the chest line, and I'm just going to measure that, or rather label that, and we're going to take our half an inch just like the front, and go up at the waist or the hip line. I think I'm going to call that hip line, and we're not going to go down by any inch here because this is not the bust, this is just the back, and there's not going to be any weird line or anything like that or any weird feeling. So we're going to draw the dot line, and just like the front, we are going to take our circumference measurement divided by 4. That's my waist measurement divided by 4. So that's 7. My hips measurement divided by 4 is about 10 or 9.5. Sometimes I use 10, sometimes I use 9.5. And my bust measurements, I've already taken that at the chest line, so just draw the straight line. And again, remember, if you're not so curvy, I have a hip ruler, so sometimes I use this. This is just particularly just for hips, and again, not so curvy. And I'm just going to draw that. And finally, I'm going to put my allowance, as I told you I like doing. But I didn't just put on the waistline, I didn't just put 7 inches there. I always add my dart measurement, my 1 inch that I took out for the dart. So that has been added before the allowance. Just to clarify, I don't think I said that. And so we're almost done with, not really done already, almost done with the measurement. And so I'm just using that to clarify. Now look at this. This is something interesting. Now look at this particular part. This is 15 inches when you take the measurement of the front. And at the back, it's going to show you 14 inches. Or that's my own. Yours can be different. But whenever you take out the side dart, everything is just going to align. So trust me on this, you don't have to worry too much if both of them don't meet. When you take out your side dart, everything is going to align. So I'm just going to cut out my pattern. In case you notice, my back measurement is shorter than my front. Again, the style I want to use this asymmetric pattern for is, that's just the style of it. So the front pattern is longer and the back is a little bit shorter. And so we've come to the end of our pattern making. See you later. Bye.